All right, everybody, let's get down to business here, shall we? It is a new day. It is a new night. Last night was the night where, my hopes and dreams got crushed a little bit, right? It turned out certain aspects of this mode weren't what I wanted them to be, right? In regards to the AI, their trading logic, stuff like that, player regression, so on and so forth. Last night was the morning. Tonight is the acceptance of, okay, that was the whole point of this series. Was our first series of the year to see the inner workings of franchise mode, what I like, what I don't, whatever. And now that I know how it's going to work this year, we can accept it. And we are going to progress through this. I'm not giving up on this particular challenge or anything like that. But certainly now, like we know, unless there are some changes to this game, for example, pretty much every future franchise mode we do, if nothing changes, I'm turning off AI trades. I'll probably leave them on for this because whatever. But have I tried running the show off stream at all? No. I'm almost through my first season in like less than a week's worth of playing time. So we've just played it on stream a ton. We do need to go through and double check our playoff roster to see what we're going to have going on here. Because like I said, we're not done. We're not giving up. And, I would be lying if I were to say I'd be okay with us losing this year. I hope we win the World Series this year. I really, really hope we win the World Series this year. What a guy, Crashy. What a guy. But yeah, no, Jigsy, we play Road to the Show a lot. I'll be playing it right after, or not right after this, but I always play it in the back half of the stream. So, Crash, they're not going to stop. But, all right, it did send down Rhys Hoskins. Let me really quickly. I'm pretty sure the reason it sent him down, lineup and rotation. Okay, yeah, it sent him down for another reason. Just as overall, as opposed to any settings changing. Good. So Rhys, you're back to the playoff roster for now because Aldo Herrera is not ready. Got Bernal as the backup catcher. That's fine. Second base, of course, we brought in Christian Campbell. Forrest Fleming is he's cooked. So it comes down to James Tulibitz or Chester Jacobson to be that backup second baseman. Tulibitz is an unbelievable fielder. 97 fielding and reaction. Jacobson's better at the plate, but not by much. I think we go with Tulibitz. Let's bump up, and he's already on the roster, so that's good. Beat those cheating Reds. I hope so. Of course, we got Marcelo Mayer, Omar Rodriguez, which is perfectly fine. We won't go with Carnets yet. And then shortstops, Holiday and Honeycutt. It's good. Outfield is Alexis Alonso, Jackson Merrill, Elijah Green, Jeff Ullman. The pitchers. This is another one that we need to be a little bit careful of. So Henry Silva never got the pitch at the major league level this year, but he has an 80 overall already. Juan Madrano had a 1.46 whip. Still a sub-4 FIP. Swanger was phenomenal. Karowski was great. Guerrero was great. Hooper, Montez, Donnie English, not so much. We'll be letting go of old Donnie there. And honestly, it's not looking bad. For the starters, Sasaki, looking okay. Henley, Ullman, Valdez isn't going to make the roster. I do have to call somebody up. Cairo's probably not making it either. James Bond had a 5 ERA. Sposato was nearly at a 5. Jesus. Feliciano was nearly at a 5. Dixon was at a 9. Okay, we are going to go bullpen heavy. In fairness, though, Silva's already here. We could then go... We could really shorten the pitching staff here for the playoffs. Jones, he's not even on the 40-man. Choo-Choo. Choo-Choo wasn't bad this year. Okay, Choo-Choo has made the playoff roster. That's good to know. So what we'll do, what happened last night with the trades, basically the AI is dumb. I do not like the way trading works in this game. The AI do not realize the caliber of players that they have and get rid of prospects too easily. Anybody over the age of 30 that makes a significant amount of money, they're viewed as a cap dump. Yeah, just for me, trade values are wonky. The AI do not covet top-notch prospects enough, especially when they're not a good team. So, but all right. Cairo and Valdez need to go down. So we'll drop Cairo. Who is the fastest? You know, it would be the outfield. I wanted to see if there was an obvious shout for a go-to pinch runner. Let's check shortstop. Oof. Okay, 80 speed for Beckett Whiteley. He's not on the 40-man, though. Alden Karnitz is rapid. 92 speed. Yeah, I can't call him up, though. Dang. Dang. Well, we might just have to have a pitcher on the roster that I'm not overly confident in. Guess technically we could go with Pascanel Ferreras, but he's just kind of a dude. He's just kind of a dude. I mean, Valdez, in theory, is a good player to have. Even just overall wise. I guess we'll keep Valdez on the roster, but I can't say I necessarily plan on using him throughout the majority of the postseason run, however long it may be. So if we look at the pitching staff, of course we want MLB. There we go. If we look at the pitching staff, I mean, it's pretty much going to be Sasaki, Henley, and Ullman. We can technically use Valdez as the long reliever. I don't know if it'll force me to have two long relievers. Hopefully not. And then if we have to use Choo-Choo, we'll use him. Just kind of crazy. As far as the relievers are concerned, still an issue with having two setup guys, meaning one of them never pitches. That is potentially why Silva didn't get much use this season, yes. That is potentially still an issue. I just can't recall when I called him up, so I can't say with certainty. Let's see. Don't want to solely use Whip, but it looks like Swanger, Hooper, and Karowski are the big three to trust. Those look like the big three to trust come playoff time. Okay. What's this lineup going to look like? Against righties. Do we want to get Rhys Hoskins in there? Yes, we do. Green, Rodriguez, Honeycutt. Honestly, I mean, the starters that are in, it's probably going to be what it is. Especially because it means we have a good mix of lefties and righties. Righties will take priority. We don't have the fastest team out there. Jackson Holiday would be a good leadoff man with his speed. Let's go. Let's go for Jeff Allman, leadoff. Holiday after him. Probably Chunky. Either Herrera in the 3. Ooh, yeah. You know what? Herrera in the 3 spot. Herrera in the 3 spot. We trust him the most to be able to bring home those early runners. Next lefty up in terms of hitting, Alexis Alonso. Then Chunk. Then probably Jackson Merrill, Rhys Hoskins, Meyer, and Campbell. I think that gives us a really good balance. Again, literally all the way through the lineup, righty, lefty, righty, lefty. And then we want Hoskins back in at DH again. Campbell in at second base over Tulabits. Satisfying handedness. Except for 9. Yeah, well, you know. It's close, though. So we'll do the same thing. Ullman, Holiday, Herrera, Alonso, Harris, Merrill, Hoskins, Mayer, and Campbell. There we go. I like that lineup a lot. I like that lineup a lot. We draw the Atlanta Braves in our first playoff series that we have had so far with this Cardinals team. We have struggled immensely, but we are finally here. Let's take a look at what Atlanta looks like in this timeline. Pitching staff. And actually, you know what? Let's just go outright to rotation. Yeah, there we go. Let's do that instead. So their pitching staff, Garrett Crochet, 32 years old. He's still above a 90, but he is starting to regress. Not nearly as bad as some others, but he's also making $45 million a year. Ryan Nelson, AJ Smith-Shaver, Antonio Ramos, and Royber Salinas. A name you might be familiar with from Road to the Show, because we faced him quite a bit in AAA. Let's see, they got Drew Hackenberg as a long reliever, Bertram Ruth, Wallace Perez, David Bednar at age 37, Jose Budo, Ron Bird, and Christian Scott. It's not bad. It's not bad. Obviously, Garrett Crochet is going to be the interesting one because of that 65 stamina. Their lineup itself, what does that look like? Damn it. There we go. So they have William Garlobo at shortstop, Ronald Acuna, Austin Riley, Nolan Gorman, who I just cannot escape, Evan Carter, Edouard Julien, Taylor Trammell, Kevin Parada, and Colt Keith. Will it be the revenge of Gorman and Carter? That is the question. How much is Acuna regret? He's at an 84 at age 34. I don't think that's, like, out of the examples I've seen, that's not the harshest or maybe even the most unrealistic. Like, he's still solid, but, you know. And then do they have any changes? They do. Julio Alvarez is in against lefties. Acuna is a bit further down, and then Michael Harris is in. And of course, Evan Carter still cannot hit lefties to save his life. But he is a hell of a fielder. Wasn't worth that contract. And again, 29 years old. He's regressing. How good of a season did he have? 784 at the plate. 983 in the field. Still regressing. Dude, man, like, seriously, like, from what I'm seeing regression-wise, anybody over 28 years old, you're taking a risk. You are taking a risk. 28 years old, you're a fucking walking miracle to not be regressing at that point. It's kind of nuts. It's kind of nuts. But let's get to it. Our first playoff game. Did you sim forward? We do. We sim a lot, except in playoff time. We end up going to quick manage, although we do end up jumping in if it's a very interesting situation. Yeah, we do a lot of simming here, as opposed to playing every game. You can change the PA announcer? Huh. Roki Sasaki. Now, here's the issue about Evan Carter. Most of our lefties are in the pen. All of our starters right now, because of performance this season, ended up being righties. So that's going to be a little bit interesting. But Sasaki takes to the mound. We know what our lineup is. Let's finally get to some playoff baseball here, shall we? And hope for the best. As Allman pops up, Holiday pops up, Herrera grounds out. Not a great start for us. Garlobo with a leadoff double. Pop up there. Austin Riley singles. Runners at the corners. 1 out for Nolan Gorman. Hits the RBI single. Atlanta strikes first. Evan Carter walks. Bases loaded, 1 out in the frickin' bottom of the first. A strikeout. Taylor Trammell's up. He flies out. Okay. Scary. We're fortunate to have only given up 1 run there. Alonso pops up. Harris grounds out. Merrill flies out. Not a great start at the plate. Parada down. Keith down. Garlobo down. Good inning there. Hoskins strikes out. Meyer grounds out. Campbell singles. Finally get our first base hit. Ullman flies out. 1 hit through 3 innings. Not great. Acuna singles. Riley pops up. Gorman strikes out. Carter walks. Old Julien walks. Taylor Trammell, bases loaded. Grounds out. Second time Sasaki has escaped a bases loaded situation so far. Good Lord. Question about franchise. Can I make a Japanese team and download a roster of that team? Okay, you might not be able to download a roster of that team, but you should be able to download individual players still and then put them onto your team. I can show you in a little bit, but it should be possible. Should be. And of course, they don't have expansion in this game. You'd have to replace like Tampa or something like that. Holiday strikes out. Herrera flies out. Alonso singles. Harris singles. Jackson Merrill strikes out. Parada grounds out. Keith singles. Garlobo flies out. Acuna strikes out. All right, through 4, we have just 3 hits. Hoskins, leadoff single. Meyer flies out. Campbell with a 2-run shot. We take the 2-1 lead. Thank you very much, Christian. Ullman grounds out. Holiday strikes out, but we have a lead. Riley singles. Gorman pops up. Carter, 2-run shot for the former Card, Evan Carter. And we are down 3-2. Julien singles. Trammell strikes out. Parada singles. Colt Keith strikes out. Not a great start for Roki Sasaki. Herrera singles. Alonso flies out. Harris singles. Runner at the corners for Jackson Merrill. As they make the first pitching change, they bring in reliever Wallace Perez. Only a 73. Merrill lines out. Hoskins strikes out. Sasaki is getting tired. Garlobo pops up. Acuna strikes out. Riley with a double. Gonna see if he can get out of it. Gorman walks. Gonna see if he... No, it's Carter. Pitching change. Bringing a lefty. Pitching change. Bringing a lefty. In that situation... And it will be Josh Swanger. Strikes him out. Let's go. Big brain to survive that one. Big brain. And we needed it. And we needed it. We still know Evan Carter's Achilles heel. Meyer now against Jose Buto. Grounds out. Campbell flies out. Ullman singles. Jackson Holiday walks. Ivan Herrera. My man. Grounds out. Shit. Julien singles. Trammell singles. Parada strikes out. Colt Keith flies out. Garlobo. Bases loaded. 2 outs for Acuna. He's weaker against lefties. We're keeping Swanger in. And Acuna strikes out. Dude, we have played with fire so often in this game. Alonso grounds out. Harris strikes out. Merrill grounds out. Fuck. Riley singles. Gorman reaches on an error. Carter walks. Julian, fielder's choice. Trammell, fielder's choice. Parada flies out. Third time this game we have gotten away with a bases loaded situation. Hoskins against Buto. Hoskins against Scott. I mean, it is the top of the ninth. We got to see what's going to happen here. We got to see. We got to see. Thoughts on Everywhere by Fleetwood Mac. Good song. Fleetwood Mac's a hell of a band. We will see what happens. We leave it up to chance. In these scenarios, this series is not about how good I am at the game or how bad I am at the game. It's about whether or not we can build a good team. They bring in their closer.
Hoskins at the plate and takes high there.
It's Rhys Hoskins against Christian Scott. We're still down by 1 in game 1.
They hope he's the guy to spark a
And the veteran Hoskins doing a good job of holding off so far.
Why not him? Back-to-back breaking pitches away, you get the feeling.
For all 3 no outs too. I think just 2 of them.
He doesn't want to challenge you, so
2-0 from Scott. Hoskins fouls it away. Right before. Yeah, I saw. Good life though.
Looking to
Good
get
life.
the tying run on base.
Ah, it's a rough pitch to take.
Good job to
The
fight.
foul off by Rhys. To be his final playoff series of his career.
Here's a 2-2.
Hoskins to first.
Base hit right field.
Scott covers and wins the race to the bag. 1 down.
Yeah. You want to be a great
Not to be
defense,
confused with
you
any of
have
his
to
10
deliver
sons and a
consistently.
daughter,
It
Georgina.
doesn't matter how many highlight reel plays you make if you can't execute the
Marcelo Meyer is up.
just like we saw. Here's
Acquired
the
from the Red
base.
Sox, he and Christian Campbell to try and get this team to that next level.
And that one fouled off.
Fouls off the first pitch slider.
Locked in right now. 1-run game here
He
in
used
the
powder
ninth.
blues. I had decided.
Inside just.
Fastball just misses.
He never moved because he never had time to. But that kind of velocity, you prefer that pitcher work away.
He 1-1.
And that one upstairs.
Fastball misses. Is it possible to turn off or adjust regression? Not that I know of. Just kind of is what it is.
The next
Nice
offering
job
misses.
by Meyer again.
First pitch strike.
Campbell on deck.
No panic at all by the hitter. Very patient, showing good discipline.
Marcelo
He's in the driver's seat with the 3-1 count.
fouls off a high fastball. Full count. The deal from Scott, and he will walk the tying run.
What a battle. It's not always easy.
That brings up Christian Campbell.
He earned that walk. Here's the second baseman. He's already homered in this game. Pure base.
Now, from here, I can't go to quick manage. If I select the Cardinals again, manager. Okay, now see, I wanted like the manager camera angle, but I can't do that. It's a bit of a shame. We're gonna sub out Campbell if possible for a good. Do we have a man? We don't really have any lefties on the bench. It would have to be Bernal. I didn't notice how many righties we had on the bench either. It's just we went off of performance. Never mind, Christian. You're staying, buddy. You are staying.
Gotta stay dialed in.
I believe in you.
Anything in the dirt.
I believe.
Right through
That is not a great first pitch to take.
Even though it's right,
Oh, boy.
it looks pretty good. If he doesn't love it, he's not going to run around to go.
Meyer going for the steal.
Throw,
Safe.
And the tying run is now in.
Ballsy decision there. Marcelo picks off second base. tying run. A much better spot. Campbell goes around on the check swing. Damn. Damn. A 1-2 to Campbell. Holds off on a fastball, thankfully.
And that's ball 2.
And a swing and a miss.
Now only 1 out remaining.
He had him out in front.
Not where we wanted to be. Here in game number 1.
Just couldn't sit back long enough on that.
A big swing and a miss from Christian Campbell. Jeff Ullman is up.
Trying to deliver as the hero.
They identified him as a good replacement for Jordan Walker. Hasn't been all of what I thought he could be at the plate, but now's a good time to step up.
The late stages of game 1.
Come on. Pop up to first. And the Braves take game 1.
And the Braves hold on to win a tight one as this one ends as a
It could have been a lot worse, to be honest.
So the
Tiebreaker, what's going on? Good to see you.
Wild card series. They take game 1 in front of their home fans.
Wild card.
There's even more pressure on you as the home team in a 3-game series.
Braves 1-1 away from moving on to the NLDS.
Their guys took care of business.
And on the other side of things, it'll be
And Sasaki charged with the loss. We had the one error.
quite a test to keep their season alive.
Yeah, no doubt.
There you go.
A ton of offense to chat about as we look at the final.
Better start from Roki. Definitely, but we also need more than 8 hits.
But sometimes those can be the best, especially this time of year.
Definitely need more than 8 hits.
They hang on to win it by a run. For Chris Singleton and our entire outstanding crew.
Yeah, we had runners at the corners with 1 out, and we didn't bring in the guy from third. That's definitely where the game was lost there. Definitely. But yeah, looking at some of the numbers here. I mean, Holiday went without a hit. Jackson Merrill. Marcelo didn't have a hit, although he and Holiday each had a walk. Chunky had a decent game, but yeah, Campbell had the only 2 RBIs of that game. Sasaki's final line, 5 2/3 pitched, 10 hits allowed, 3 earned runs, 4 walks, and 6 strikeouts. Swanger did pretty well in relief, though. We got to give him that. Evan Carter, deemed player of the game as well. Just an extra punch to the gut beyond losing the game. Not great. Not great. And now our season is on the line in game number 2. Oh, boy. Oh, boy, oh, boy. Now, of course, we could manage full game, but we'll go with the quick. Actually, am I loading in too far? Hold on. Like I hit the wrong damn button. I don't know why. End the game. Sim the game. I'll make. Yeah, no, that's the one that I want. I just didn't realize I picked the jerseys before then. We can wear the alternate road this time. See if the powder blue brings us some luck. Our second best pitcher this season. It's a tie between Ullman and Henley. Ullman with a 3.55 and a 1.29. It was really close between the two of them. 3.8 FIP. It's going to be Henley. Bob Henley takes the mound here. Season on the line as mentioned. Lineup stays the same. It's game number 2. Ullman leads off. Ryan Nelson, the starter for them in this one. See what we can do. A leadoff double for Ullman. The question is, do we play small ball? Holiday grounds out. Herrera flies out. Alonso grounds out. Should have played small ball. Jesus, that's rough. Garlobo strikes out. Acuna grounds out. Riley grounds out. Nice job from Henley. Chunky reaches on an error. Merrill is able to bunt him over. Hoskins can't bring him home, nor can Marcelo. As we continue to strand base runners. Gorman down. Carter singles. Julian pops up. Trammell singles. Parada. Bases loaded. 2 outs for Colt Keith. And he delivers with a grand slam. Colt Keith puts Atlanta up 4-0 in the second inning. Oof. Garlobo doubles. Acuna flies out. Damage done. Campbell's down. Ullman's down. Holiday strikes out. Riley, Gorman, Carter with a 2-out double. Julian can't bring him home. Herrera, leadoff single. Alonso, a follow-up. Chunky Harris pops up. Jackson Merrill, still without a hit in this series. Hoskins, grounds out. More stranded base runners. Leadoff single for Trammell. A follow-up single there. Colt Keith pops up. Garlobo, sack bunt. Acuna flies out. Meyer strikes out. Campbell singles. Ullman singles. Runner at the corner. Jackson Holiday singles. Bases loaded. For one Ivan to see. Ivan Herrera hit a grand slam here. Sack fly. We get 1 run in. Alonso brings in another. Runners at the corners. 2 outs. Chunky Harris. Fielder's choice. We did manage to cut the lead in half, though. Riley, leadoff double. Gorman flies out. Carter grounds out. Julian strikes out. Merrill flies out. Hoskins walks. Marcelo pops up. He's done nothing this series, man. Campbell strikes out. Damn. And again, it makes sense to bring in a lefty from the pen because we've been using righties so much. But my 3 best relievers were Swanger, Hooper, and Karowski. We got to bring in Karowski. At this time of the game, we have to bring in our best pitcher and hope he can just keep the other team off the board, which means Taylor Trammell's about to hit a home run. Grounds out. Parada strikes out. Keith strikes out. It's what we needed. Ullman against Ron Bird. 75 overall. Flies out. Holiday grounds out. Herrera grounds out. Garlobo. Acuna. Riley, nothing doing. Alonso. Harris. We're going to sub out Jackson Merrill, I think. Nah, fuck it. We got to live and die by him. Grounds out. Gorman down. Carter doubles. Julian can't bring him home. Taylor Trammell can't. And just like that, we are in a very similar situation to last night. Very similar. Except this time we need 2 runs, not 1.
Late stages of this one,
For this year, which game has the best franchise mode, in my opinion? Putting some thought into it.
So they turn to their closer.
College football 25.
I think closer has to be one of the
Madden has good elements, but it's not the complete package. This has good elements. NBA has good elements, especially with eras, but there's on-track stuff with the eras mode that's screwed up. NHL has some good elements. I'd probably say college football or FC 25.
Hoskins in the box here. Lets that one.
Or best franchise mode of that of 2024. If you want to include this as the first of 2025, then
And the sweeper misses.
that's fair too. And obviously, I won't have an answer until the fall. Come on, Reese.
There's a strike.
You gotta swing there. You gotta swing.
Next offering.
3-1 count to Hoskins. Pops one up. See if he just left me wanting a lot, especially with number 14. That's fair. I do think if we judge it for what it was, it is very solid. Even if we can all say they probably should have been more. I still enjoy franchise mode in this game tremendously. But there are issues with it that are just a bit too loud to ignore, for lack of a better way to phrase it. But do I have certain things I can do to help mitigate how grating those issues are? Yes. But, 2-0 count to Marcelo. 3-0 count. And again, Campbell on deck. Former Red Sox duo. Trying to save us. Marcelo, again, walks in this situation. Christian Campbell. Rowan, what's going on? I'm doing well. How are you? We did make the playoffs, but we're also about to be eliminated from the playoffs unless this changes. Campbell. Campbell to left. 2 down. Other than AI roster management, what's my biggest wish for NHL franchise?
So they're down to their final out. And here's the
probably GM connected. Probably.
32 years old, and he was a 5th-round pick.
Like the first few things that came to mind.
On the ground to third, but that rolls foul.
First few things that came to mind, aside from the AI roster management. I mean, we do have the ability. Hey, base hit. We're not done. We do have the ability for some player development, being hands-on now. So, honestly, it probably would be GM connected. Especially, too, like you guys have seen in the past, I'm sure. If you haven't, hey, go check it out. But the times like, Endo, Monk, Sin, myself, we've played like NHL 2K10 all on the same team. I want to be able to do that on NHL 25 franchise mode. Easily. Jackson Holiday.
And fouled
off. Yeah, it's like I want to be able to play the game offline with my friends in franchise mode, position locks. We're doing a fuck ton of that this summer. Hopefully. I mean, it depends on everyone's availability, But yeah, it would be very nice to do that. Then obviously have some other elements, being able to be in leagues against other teams. But yeah, even just the ability to fucking invite my friends when I'm playing franchise mode, when I'm about to load into a game.
Is just 1 strike away.
Holiday to second, and that'll do it. We make the playoffs for the very first time. We get knocked out in the wild card. Best of 3. The Braves take the first 2 games and send us packing.
So the Atlanta Braves sweep this wild card series with back-to-back.
We had some key players underperform there. That's for sure.
So did these home fans. A lot of
that is for sure.
Energy in this ballpark, and I'm sure that had some impact at least. And this club has to feel excited moving on to the next round with a lot of good momentum on their side.
Hold lineup, fall asleep. I view it as more of the lineup. The reason they can't add more throwback logos, probably just licensing, yeah. That's what it typically comes down to. Sunk by a second inning grand slam. Holiday with a hit. Merrill went throughout this entire series without a hit. I think Meyer might have as well. A little more control of the draft class. I mean, yeah, trust me, like every single franchise mode that we play on here, I have suggestions of things I'd like to see. But yeah, Henley, 5 innings pitched, 9 hits, 4 runs, 4 strikeouts, no walks. Karowski just 1 hit, 4 strikeouts in his 3 innings pitched. But Yeah, we just could not capitalize with runners in scoring position. It was that simple, really. That is absolutely what sank us in that series. And I can't say I'm overly surprised because I'm not at all. But yeah, that is a tough way to go out. But yeah, Sasaki, 5 2/3 pitched, a 4.76 ERA, and then Bob Henley. Neither of our starters made it through 6 innings. Lineup-wise, Ullman, 400 average, no RBIs. 125 for Jackson Holiday. 286 for Herrera, 375 Alonso, 250 for Chunky. Jackson Merrill, 7 at-bats, no hits. Hoskins, 7 at-bats, just 1 hit. Marcelo, 6 at-bats, no hits. And when you have them kind of evenly dispersed throughout the lineup and not delivering like that, it just sinks your ability to drive in runs. The 2032 World Series, the Chicago White Sox and the Atlanta Braves. Trade logic in MLB is getting better. Is it? I'd debate you on that point. Other than that, what's your most desired feature to be added? Mine would be the international draft. The international draft is probably the biggest one, yeah. In terms of replicating what actually goes on in Major League Baseball from a front office perspective, I think it would have to be the international draft, yeah. Or in fairness, the international signing period, call it what you will. But yeah. Well, we know what the Braves look like. What do the White Sox look like? Now look, it's not totally unrealistic that a team can just get hot at the right time. But doesn't it feel NHL-like when you build a really good team and they don't do shit, and then you see a team like this make it to the World Series? It happens. Can't say it's unrealistic, but it is frustrating. It is frustrating. It looks like the Braves are about to do it, and they do. Atlanta ends the storybook run from Chicago. The Atlanta Braves have won the 2032 World Series, led by 2 Cardinals, former Cardinals at least, Nolan Gorman and Evan Carter. It is my curse. If I get rid of somebody, they turn into a star somewhere else. Austin Riley was World Series MVP, though, at age 34. While postseason MVPs, Colt Keith, Taylor Trammell, Kevin Parada, and then Luis Arias, Valdo Cabrera, James Zachary. Your AL MVP this season, Rafael Devers. 40 home runs, 114 RBIs. I'm kind of surprised they didn't give it to Alberto De La Rosa. A 361 average is absurd. Your NL MVP was Austin Riley. What a season. What a season. World Series MVP and outright MVP. Team wins it over Helio Ramos and Dwight Simons. Your AL Cy Young winner for the 3rd straight season, Tampa's Ken Copeland, and it's literally off of strikeouts. He was 15 and 11. Had a 3.72 ERA. It is absurd that Shane McClanahan did not win it with that record and that ERA. They really, really value strikeouts. Your NL Cy Young winner, Paul Skeens of the Chicago Cubs. And tough to disagree with him winning. Jackson wasn't so far ahead in strikeouts for the game to be able to justify it. AL batting title, Alberto De La Rosa. NL batting title, Drew Gilbert, as Ivan Herrera nearly reclaimed his crown. He was just a little bit off. AL reliever of the year, Luther Fagan. over Chris Gilbert and Brandon Williamson. I can't disagree with that. The strikeouts, the ERA. Your NL reliever of the year, Chris Karowski. I'm sorry we let you down in the playoffs, Chris, because he pitched his heart out in Game 2. And he had a phenomenal, phenomenal season. Shout out to Eric Goodson, by the way. Another former Cardinal. Did really well for Philadelphia. Your AL Rookie of the Year, Nick Kurtz with the White Sox. 283 with 26 home runs and 88 RBI. God damn. Edgar De Silva was up there as well. NL Rookie of the Year, the former Philly. Not going to talk about that too much. We talked about it enough last night. Josh Dooley. Hank Aaron Award winners De La Rosa and Drew Gilbert. Herrera finished third. Did we have any Gold Glove winners or even finalists? That is the question. Bryce Eldridge won a Gold Glove. Jackson Holliday finished third at shortstop. Jackson Merrill finished second in center field. So we at least had some people up there. How old was Nick Kurtz? Good question. 28. Which I got to be honest, I still love the way baseball does Rookie of the Year. I don't give a fuck if you're 45. Is it your first season in the league? Cool. Again, we've had this conversation before. There should be a Rookie of the Year and a Best Young Player Award. Rookie of the Year should be for outright rookie. Everyone's eligible. And then if you want to do Best Young Player, do like 23, 24 or younger, you know? Marcelo, she's getting there, but still shrugging it off. All right. Enjoy this Finnish new metal, by the way. Actually, it's more Finnish butt rock than anything, but... All right. Well, we head to the off season up next.
Walk through this fucking grass.
My eye face pack. Thank you for the follow.